we had our conferences on the British punk. We already knew how it started there, but we invited you to hear about the real beginnings of punk and how it first was discovered in New York, or it was like more transformation, right? I think it was a transformation from like the New York Dolls as probably the latest or the last glam band. And slowly transforming into something new. I mean, it's not like there was a word, punk, right? If there was a word, you put it up, because this is your favorite, famous, popular poster saying "Watch out, punk is coming."
Yeah, well, the word punk was used by a lot of people
Yes.
in the 70s before we started it, and then people were calling the Dolls and Alice Cooper, the Stooges, punk.
Yeah.
Like, not as a term of endearment, more as kind of a subtle put down. But, you know, Iggy decided to become a rock singer when he saw Jim Morrison of the Doors. He said, "Oh, I could do that." And then the Dolls came along, and when the Ramones saw the Dolls, they're like, "We could do that." So they did it.
So before that, you were like naming someone like Alice Cooper punk to put him down.
Not me.
Yeah, not you. But
I liked it, but yeah.
But that was the scene, like Alice Cooper, the Dolls, and Kiss. Was Kiss part of
Kiss
it?
was glam.
Yeah.
There was glam and there was punk.
So only Stooges, MC5, these bands from Detroit.
Brownsville Station,
Okay.
Smoke It in the Boys' Room. Remember that song, anybody?
Yeah. Okay, they're the real experts here, yeah.
And there were some other bands, I can't think of them all at once. There was kind of a punk rock movement in the Midwest. Like an early influence on punk was Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Patti Smith wrote lyrics for them, as well as Helen Wheels. And then a rock writer, Richard Meltzer, contributed lyrics as well.
Okay.
And Richard, I think, discovered the Dictators, and Blue Oyster Cult's management got them a record deal. And some people think that was the first punk rock record, because they were anti-glam, you know, like Monty A. Melnick was in a band called Butch with Tommy, and it was like 1974, and they were anti-glam. I mean, Butch was, you know, a band like Slade was glam rock in 74, and then they cut off all their hair and started wearing Doc Martens boots and got a little harder, you know. Sweet,
I mean, these are bands.
Ballroom Blitz.
Yes, yes.
That was a big influence on the Ramones. I mean, Blitz, that was Blitzkrieg Bop. And the Bay City Rollers, of course. You laugh, but I worked on a movie called DOA, A Rite of Passage, and I forget the guy's name, Bernard Partridge, I think? And they interview him, and he said, "There's one band that's a lot worse than the Sex Pistols, and that's the Bay City Rollers." And of course the Ramones kind of took off on their song Saturday Night to do Blitzkrieg Bop. You know, the Ramones wanted to be like a heavy metal bubblegum band.
They thought the Bay City Rollers are a heavy metal bubblegum band.
Huh?
In Europe. They thought they are a heavy metal bubblegum band, the Bay City Rollers.
No, the Ramones wanted to
Wanted
be,
to be, yeah.
like,
So they like the S-A-T-U-R.
Yeah.
S-A-T-U-R.
Right.
Yeah. Because that's the connection I see between the Bay City Rollers and Ramones. They probably love the chanting, right? The beginning.
yes.
Yeah.
And then of course the Ramones were very influenced by the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the Beatles in Hamburg, they're wearing leather jackets.
Yes.
They got the juvenile delinquent haircuts. So I think the whole punk scene was being influenced by the original rock and roll. Because at the time, you had prog rock, progressive rock, had taken over, and you just had endless guitar solos and drum solos and musicianship, and it was like they didn't play songs anymore. They were playing, I don't know if I could use a dirty word, but like,
yeah, you can.
it was like they were whacking off music, masturbation, like pleasuring themselves. But yeah, the CBGB scene really got started by Patti Smith, and she had a residency with television.
Okay.
And they were written up in the New York Times. I think this was, I can't remember if it was 74 or 75, but that started bringing writers down to CBGBs.
Mm-hmm.
And then Blondie and the Ramones started to play there. And before you knew it, there was a scene.
There was a Bowie scene, yes.
Not a Bowie, it was...
No, just the one joint, CBGBs.
Yeah, Max's had turned into a disco.
Yeah?
Yeah, the upstairs at Max's was a disco.
Okay, so before that it was a venue where the Dolls played.
Yeah, not just not the Dolls so much. The Velvet Underground were famous for playing there.
Mm-hmm.
I did some research. Bruce Springsteen played there early on.
Oh, yeah?
Bob Marley and the Wailers.
Wow.
Sun Ra.
Uh-huh.
I mean, in the early 70s, if you were a small band trying to make it, you'd play Max's, and then the Bottom Line, and then the Academy of Music, and then the big time, Madison Square Garden. So, yeah.
But give us a real picture on Max Kansas City, on the venue. Because I saw a very early picture, you sitting there doing interviews, and you would be the one to explain what is Max Kansas City. It's a restaurant, it's a venue, it's got the famous back room. It's turned into a disco later, you said. So what is Max's? What is the concept?
Originally, there was a steakhouse.
Yeah?
And Andy Warhol's factory had been located early on in the West 40s. I don't remember the exact address. But then he moved down to 14th Union Square. So he was just above Union Square, like 17th Street,
Mm-hmm.
a block away from Park Avenue South.
Okay.
And that's where Max's was.
All right.
And the owner, Mickey Ruskin, a legendary fellow, would give people like Andy Warhol a tab,
Uh-huh.
or Lou Reed a tab, so they could eat there for free.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So restaurant upstairs.
No, downstairs.
Downstairs is the restaurant.
Yeah, and then the back room was
Yes.
a kind of a private room in the back of the restaurant.
Downstairs, yes.
Downstairs.
Yeah.
Then you walk up the stairs for the music.
All right.
Yeah.
And then that was only good for 150 people.
Yeah, it was very small.
Okay. Sounds amazing. All places like Kansas City. But it was, for me, it was confusing to work this out. Because I once saw, Sterling Morrison, for example, from Velvet Underground, he had his own tab. He only had to sign at Max's, and then he had a monthly bill sent to his home. That's when you made it. Yeah.
Mickey Ruskin was a great supporter of the arts. Because there were, painters also would eat free there. He was just very generous and supportive of the arts.